Welcome to my program Bashy's Corner. Tunisia is one of the 3 Arab countries on the top of African continent. Many people in West, and especially in Denmark, know a lot about Morocco and Libya, but very few people know about Tunisia. Tunisia has one of the most sophisticated, educated, and I would say beautiful people in all Arab world. And in the last few years, Tunisia is that country which triggered Arab Spring. And in Copenhagen, there are not many Tunisians who live there. We have many Moroccans, and that is why it's important to talk about Tunisia, Tunisians who live here, and how their integration has been. For that, I have invited one of the best personalities of among Tunisians in Denmark, Mouna Daadouch. Mouna, I'm a little, not confused, but I'm always curious to ask people's names. My name means good news from heavens. What does Mouna Daadouch means?
Well, actually, Mouna, Mouna in Arabic means hope.
Wow.
Yeah, so it has like a meaning, symbolic. My last name is not very common in Tunisia, actually.
But in France, there are many Daadouch.
Well, Daadouch, I know. In Tunisia, we are few people. It's not like common name like other common names in our country.
Okay. Your family migrated from Tunisia to Denmark.
Yes.
Why so? Why?
Well, actually, my dad started migrating he was traveling in Europe, and he traveled to different countries in Europe. He was also living in France for a short period and studying at the Sorbonne University in the last 60s, like around 68, when there was the student manifestations, demonstrations. And then he came to Denmark with my uncle and his cousin, and they liked Denmark because of the women to begin, because they were blonde women and
very honest.
yeah, to be honest, and they liked the country because it was much more warm people back then than now. Like the Danes were much more how to say, warm and open and friendly towards immigrants.
Yes.
And he was like an exotic, and he learned Danish very quick and started working, and and he's educated actually.
You didn't come with him. You came later.
Well, no, because he came by himself to begin, and then he got married with my mom. Few years after. So my mom, he came like around the early 70s, and my mom came around like around 77.
So you're born in Denmark.
I'm born and raised in Denmark. Yeah.
Okay, and you have other sisters and brothers?
I have a little sister and a big brother.
Okay.
And yeah, a big brother doesn't live in Denmark now. He's in Dubai. He's been living in Dubai the last 10 years.
Okay. You describe yourself as Danish Tunisian.
Yes.
Why not only Danish? You're born here, you're educated here.
Because the Tunisian part is an integrated part of my identity. It's my, it's like my roots. So I'm originally from Tunisia, so I seek back to the roots to understand my identity. And I like describing myself as a multicultural, I have a multicultural background. Not only Danish, I have the Danish part, the French part, and the Tunisian part, actually. So I'm raised with those 3 cultures and 3 languages, actually, from childhood.
That's what I wanted to ask. Were you raised as Tunisian, Danish, and now you tell me that you are raised, and that is why you're so cosmopolitan, that you're raised with all those cultures?
Yeah, because I can adapt in all those different cultures and different countries. And I feel home. I have this feeling of feeling home, both in Tunisia, in Denmark primarily, but also in France, because I have been living in Paris for a few years also.
Yeah, and you speak French, of course.
I speak fluently French, yeah.
When I look at your life and your CV, it tells me that you're a journalist, you're a blogger, human rights activist,
Yeah.
You are also defender of LGBT rights and women's rights in Arab world, but most of all, you are a very vocal Muslim feminist. It's the word Muslim feminist, you know. Let me start with journalism, let's say. Why did you choose journalism?
Well, journalism, my journalistic career started when the outbreak of the revolution in Tunisia.
Okay.
And then I wanted to write history in my own country. I was, when Bouazizi, the martyr of the revolution, burned himself, I was in Tunisia. It was in December 2010, you know. And so I got like hooked. I wanted to write about those topics, and I had this interest and engagement in Tunisian politics and the Tunisian revolution. So that's when I started writing for the newspaper, Danish newspaper Information.
So you are not trained as a journalist, you just became interested?
No, I became a journalist because of the Arab Spring, because the revolution started in Tunisia. So I got interested in what was in all those issues in the Arab world.
So now you work with Danish newspapers, you write for them.
Yeah, on a freelance base.
Sorry?
Freelance journalist.
Freelance journalist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you write for also Information. I've read.
I write also for French-spoken newspapers. I wrote also for an Algerian newspaper. So it's both for in French and in Danish. I write actually. That
brings me to another issue, because normally when Danish journalism or Danish journalists are interested in any issue, like in Pakistan or Tunisia or Egypt, they rather have Danish journalists to cover that.
Yeah.
They very seldom use native-born people or people with that background. Yeah. Why did they accept you to write something?
Because I had this inside knowledge, and I speak fluent also Arabic and French, so I don't have any communications problems when I'm in Tunisia. And they also discovered that I had like an understanding of those complicated issues with the revolution, and I could easily make interviews also. I had good questions, like I was very critical, and so I had like, they realized that it's good to have someone with the insider like knowledge, or we call it in Danish, you know, and I think that's, for them, it was like, it was a good thing to have a native also, a Danish Tunisian journalist. Like for them, it was an advantage actually.
Could it be that you are a woman and they said, okay, we will accept her, and not the others?
No, I don't think it was because of it's a gender question. You know, I think it was because when I came in Information and I said, I want to write articles, I want to
so you went there and
I went there
hey.
And I said, I want to write about Tunisia. They gave me a chance. And they said, okay, we will let you write articles, and if you write good articles, then you can write for us. And that's what happened actually. That's what happened. And I traveled a lot to Tunisia to do some field work also.
So you like to write, but so your writing is in your blood?
Writing is in my blood because I've studied literature at the university. So I have been reading a lot of books and writing a lot, and I like an analysis, you know, like all kind of intellectual work, the academic work is a part of me also.
Okay, and then you use that in...
and then you use it in the journalistic field, but it's another way to write, you know, you have to be more like, it's not like the academic work. It's different. You know, I was used to the research, writing long reports, but now you have to be more like short, precise. When you write articles.
But still, you have an overview, and then you express it.
Yeah.
And
but you have to have an overview. You have to understand the situation. You have to be critical. You have to, you know, that's very important in my field.
You also write in Arabic and French?
Not Arabic, only French and English.
But you speak very well Arabic, I understand.
speak fluently Tunisian, actually.
Tunisian.
But I understand Arabic.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's for our viewers who think that Arabic is just same, but Moroccan Arabic is different than the Tunisian Arabic.
Well, it's like Swedish and Danish,
okay.
or, you know, or Norwegian and Danish. That's the difference between Algerian, Moroccan, and Tunisian.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you go to Morocco, then you have to make an effort to understand.
You have, yeah, but still you can communicate.
You can.
Yeah.
The basic Arabic is the same.
Yeah, yeah.
But you write for a French newspaper, Libération?
Also French spoken. It's North African newspaper.
North African newspaper.
Yeah, Tunisian. Okay. I have wrote for Tunisian and Algerian newspapers.
Okay. And they accept you?
They accept
coming
me.
From Denmark and writing about
yeah, because I have been writing in French almost all my life. As you know, I don't know if I told you, but I studied at French school here in Copenhagen, the Lycée Prince Henri. So French is my first language. So
no,
actually,
I know, but I was thinking, that French have this,
arrogance. Yeah, but still, I mean, I've studied French literature, so I have been writing all my essays, everything in French. So it's easier for me to write in French than Danish, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what issues do you normally write about?
Well, actually, I have written about different kind of issues, but a lot I have written about like the women topic, women rights in the Arab world. I have been writing about the Amina case, which was one of my main cases, actually.
From Sudan?
No, from Tunisia.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Tunisia.
She's the first.
Okay, that was a different. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, she's the first feminine activist in the Arab world.
Okay.
You know, the movement Feminist.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I thought there was also an Amina case from Sudan where they wanted to stone her because she had a baby outside her marriage,
No, we have it's not the same issue, but we had she was the first exhibitionistic feminist. So she was showing her breasts with anti-religious slogans, and
in
public, and she took pictures of it and published it in the social media. And the breast for her was a weapon against the Islamists, and
but
Mouna was a way of expressing.
Sure. But Mouna, Tunisia, after all, is a Muslim country. You don't run around showing your breasts in public, It's not accepted.
Yeah, but it wasn't accepted in Tunisia.
And that was the reason why she
even the secular feminists, even the intellectuals, even the left wing, and all those people, they condemned Amina.
What was Amina's defense?
She got persecuted by the Islamists also.
And
she got threatened,
No, but I'm not talking about Islamists. I'm talking about normal Muslims.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the modern secular Muslims.
Yeah.
Didn't accept.
That's what I meant.
This.
So do you think it was wise to express
I didn't
your
say.
opinion?
I was just writing about the case as a journalist. So I wasn't defending Amina, but I wasn't condemning Amina, her action. Her action. I was just trying to explain what is this kind of movement, because this movement took also place in Egypt, and it was it was a beginning of a movement in the Arab world, but it never became a big movement, a big feministic movement. Never. Yeah.
Then tell me, how is it for a person with your background to be a journalist in Denmark, and are you accepted? Honest, hand on your heart.
Well, actually, if I'm accepted by the other journalists or...
Yes, other journalists, public, when they read, they say, oh, she has an Arab background, she's writing about Arab revolution.
Well, actually, some people...
She cannot be neutral.
I promote also some of my work on the social media, like on Facebook, and I try to start a debate sometimes. So I have been writing, for example, a very interesting topic I wrote about when I was living in Tunisia for 1 year. Was about how the Tunisian feminists were, how can I say, how they were fighting against the Islamists, how they were the biggest enemies, and why the Tunisian women felt threatened by the Islamists. So this was a topic I wrote about in the newspaper, and I tried to open a debate in the social media. And actually a lot of people some people were supporting me and a lot of racists also were starting attacking me. So
in Denmark?
In Denmark, yeah. So people were starting, if you want to fight for Arab women, Muslim women's right in Arab world, you should stay in Arab world. You shouldn't bring those kind of issues in our country because you're Arab, you're
That's what I meant, you know, that it's difficult.
So I had like people like, I would call them like the extremists, like the right extremism, yeah. So those people exist also, yeah.
Arab Spring started in Tunisia, like everybody knows.
Yes.
Right? That young guy, you know, street vendor, he burned himself. But the revolution, Arab Spring revolution, actually is talked a lot about in connection with Tahrir Square and Egypt, you know.
We had in Bardo, a place called Bardo, we had also a square over there, yeah, where the revolution, like the Tahrir Square.
Is socio-economical situation in Tunisia that bad that somebody has to kill himself?
Well, actually, Bouazizi is a kind of symbol of frustrated youth in Tunisia.
Okay.
Yes. Because we had this problem in many years in Tunisia. We had a lot of young people, educated people who couldn't find work, living in extreme poverty, and a lot of frustrated young people. So he became a symbol of this youth, this frustrated youth that needed a change in the country. But
you were there at that time when it happened, but do you feel that Tunisia is covered enough in the Danish and the Western media?
Well, it was the beginning when I started writing about Tunisia back then in 2011 when it started. There was like a lot of there was a focus on Tunisia because it started in Tunisia for a while.
Yeah.
But now you don't really have in the Danish media. They don't write about Tunisia. There is no interest for Tunisia like you have an interest for Syria because it's another situation, of course, or Afghanistan, or Iraq. You know, war, countries in war, killing and you know bloody war. But in Tunisia, because it's a small country and it's a country where everything remained more or less peaceful, even if after the revolution. We had some attacks, terrorist attacks, like under the beach last year, on the beach last year, and in the Bardo Museum, and we had 3 or 4 after the revolution. So there was a little focus there, but then it you know doesn't. And I think the Danes are not interested in Tunisia. It's not like there is an interest from the Danes.
But even you write in information, you write on Facebook. But anyway,
I try to. I try to.
Okay. So tell me, what is the political situation in the Arab world, and especially in Tunisia now, after what happened?
Well, the situation right now is, you know, in 2014, the secular party, how to say, gained the elections. So now the country is ruled by the secular party.
Okay, but the religious party is also quite strong.
It's still strong, and it remains the second biggest party.
And they have changed their constitution. They don't call themselves Islamic.
They have reformed the constitution, and it's been modernized, and it's been built on a consensus between the different parties. So they tried to have a consensus, like, you know, and they have written this constitution together, all the different parties, even if they have different political ideologies.
Mouna, you call yourself Muslim feminist. Why not only just the feminist?
Well, I guess I wrote actually an article about it with the feminist, Frihedsfeministen, Canvest. We wrote about this concept I wanted to start was the universal feminism.
Okay.
And the universal feminism is not white or black or Arab or European or Muslim or Christian. It's a universal feminism that include all women with different religious views, background, ethnicity, you know. So we try to have this, like say, okay, how can we Western feminists work with the Muslim feminists from the Arab world and try to find like a base for like a universal feminism.
Okay.
So we can exchange experience also,
I have read some feminist writers from Maghreb. They say that Islam is quite compatible with feminists. Actually, Prophet was very feminist. You know. Is it true?
Well, I know this movement of Islamic feminism. I have heard about it, and I have also been on a public debate with Asma Abdul Hamid, who calls herself Islamic feminist. I don't know about the. I want to just answer about the Islamic feminism. For me, is utopia. I think it's why, because we have to reform Islam and we have to reform Muslim men's view on women if we can talk about an Islamic feminism. I think like we have to modernize also Islam if we can talk about an Islamic, because the text is still oppressing women. I think
all religions are oppressing women.
Yeah, all religions. So we can't have a religious feminism. Feminism has to be secular. That's my opinion.
Okay, fine. On your blog and Facebook page, you come across a very free spirit. You know, have you always been like that?
Well, it's been like an evolution, and it's been a fight. It's been like, but I have always been I had always this free mind, you know, and I have always seen myself as a free woman, but I had to fight.
Why do you post a lot of pictures of you on your Facebook?
Well, pictures for me...
Selfies, actually.
Well, that's a very Tunisian phenomenon, actually. We are the selfie generation, and in Tunisia, I think that's my Tunisian side, I guess. That's
what about your family? Does they approve it?
Well, actually, I don't allow them to interfere in my way of like in my fight. I mean, I don't allow them to have.
No, but I heard that there are some people also in Denmark. They criticize you for being exhibitionist, something.
Well, it wasn't only in Denmark. It's also in the Arab world, you know.
Okay. You have many friends.
So it's. I think like my exhibitionism is like my way of saying. I'm the only master of my body.
Yes.
And nobody has control over my body or the way I show my body or don't show my body. If I want to cover up myself or I want to uncover my, you know, and that's the same right. I mean, I fight for the same for other women, not only for myself, but just the right to be master of your own body.
You also fight for LGBT communities.
Yeah, I took that fight also, yeah.
Okay, but you are not lesbian.
No, I'm not. But you don't have to be to fight for their rights.
Okay.
It's a form of solidarity with those.
Have you ever been threatened?
What?
Have you ever been threatened? Somebody threatened you?
Yes. When I was writing about the Amina case, I got threatened by the Salafists of Algeria. Yes.
Okay. Coming back to Denmark, because we live here in Denmark, there you have noticed, and you write a lot and you read a lot, there has been huge discussion about Islam and Muslim communities and, you know, and their place in the Danish society. And you have criticized that sometime also, that the way that the Danish society discussed that. Do you agree with their criticism of Muslims and Islam all the time?
No, I don't always agree. I mean, I agree at some point sometimes, you know. But I think they have to see also, that's what I have been writing about, like, because they feel, they always see Muslim women as oppressed women, you know, and we are all oppressed and we don't have the free choice. And I think that's wrong, because if you see what is happening now in the Arab world, especially after the Arab Spring, like in Egypt, for instance, or Lebanon, or Tunisia, those three countries, just to give you an example, you see there is like a kind of sexual revolution now in those countries, and that's interesting to see how women now fight for basic rights, like they take the fight against sexual violence, you know, towards women, the domination, all kind of male domination, from the patriarchal society, from the macho, like men chauvinists, and from also the religious fanatics, you know. So they are taking those fights now, women, and there are a lot of courageous women,
very
strong women
yes.
in the Arab world.
You tried to move back to Tunisia, and then you came back. Couldn't you adjust in that society?
Well, I came back for many reasons, because I had just 1 year to do some field work, to work on this book project that I had, and to report also for Danish media about the election. There were two elections, like the legislative election and the presidential election in Tunisia. I covered for Danish media also while I was there. And the thing was I felt after 1 year in Tunisia was one of the most amazing, exciting years in my life. But still, I felt like I got very tired after being there, because I was like coming with a Danish mentality to a Muslim country, and it was very difficult adapting also. So even if it was very exciting, I had some difficulties with adapting with the mentality also of people over
well,
there.
Mouna, thank you very much for coming.
Yes.
And I'm sure that your views have been heard by those people who are interested in this issue you fight for.
Thank
and
you.
I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
And to my viewers, I'm sure that Mouna's opinion and views would be most welcome. Until next week, take good care of yourself.